on the way over here, I was listening to Drew Hill. I have a playlist on my Apple Music, and it's just like 90s R&B.
Love it.
And a large part of that is Drew Hill. I don't know what it was about Drew Hill around the time. I guess I was needing something in my life, and when I was 16 years old, but it's Drew Hill. And I was listening to, These Are the Times? They did like a whole parody of the Man in the Iron Mask type thing for the video. And I was thinking, you can wear just about anything and be sexy in 90s R&B. You can wear anything. So I remember the Thong Song video. We had those big shiny pants on, and he was like running across the top of people like Enter the Dragon, like those old kung fu movies. And I was like, man, you can wear anything in 90s R&B, and people and women think you are the sexiest thing alive, man. It's crazy. I think I'm gonna bring it back.
Yes.
Yeah. Silver pants.
Yes.
Like silver overalls with, I don't know, like a cross-colored jacket or some shit.
The Alpha Geek music video coming out featuring Antoine Britt and the silver pants.
My silver pants. This is gonna be crazy. Welcome to another edition of Alpha Geek Podcast, y'all, where we embrace our geekdom and respect everyone else's. Thank you for hitting subscribe. Give us a follow on all our social media platforms, and we'll keep it coming, y'all. What's up, Taras?
Yeah, not much. So you were just on vacation.
Yes.
I'm so curious to know how that was.
And man, it was so good. So we go to St. Martin, and this is a group trip that we do every year with a large group of friends. This is Jamie's first time coming, so she was super stoked about that. I was stoked about having her out, and it's usually one of those things where we have a house there, or we have friends that have a house there, and we just all get together and do all the vacation stuff. And, there's not a lot of hiking or excursions or anything like that, but there's a lot of drinking, and there is a lot of laying on the beach and swimming at the beach or in the pool, and it's just super leisurely, and we just love going and hanging out with these people. So it was a fun time. In St. Martin, 85 every day. Yeah, that's with humidity, so it feels like 85. So we're not sweating our balls off.
Was the water when we went to Barbados many years ago? The water was amazing. It was clear, beautiful.
Crystal clear.
Yeah,
crystal clear, man. It was beautiful. We spent the majority of our time on the French side of the island, and all the food is great. The view is beautiful, and it was exactly what you would think. I came back home and I was telling Jamie, I was like, we need to learn French. Yeah, French is the sexiest shit ever, man. It really is, man. You can say "lick my asshole" in French, and I'm telling you, people will ooh.
They'll immediately do it.
It's the language of love, man. I know. It's the language of love.
I'll tell you what, though, we had I worked with some French people before, and they take their language very seriously. So if you're going to speak French to a French person from France, you better know it.
I know that shit. And is it like in the UK, how there's different dialects depending on what region you go? Is it the same, or is it pretty much the same across the board?
I think there's probably different accents, but it's not like England where it's like different dialects completely. They're very traditionalist about their language, and even in Canada, in Montreal, like I hear Canada as a whole, they're trying to really push the French language. Where they're actually to the point where they're losing business. Because
really?
Yeah, the language of business was English for the longest time. Now I think it's turning to Mandarin or one of the Chinese dialects. But working with French people, I did the stupidest thing. I was just like, I developed rapport with them. I was like, so, in French, like I always think of like Little Mermaid, that one scene where it's like, la poisson, and look at hee, oh, and dude, she didn't find me funny.
She probably gave I'm offended. And I'm not even French.
But that was straight out of a Disney movie.
Are you mean to tell me that you don't see like all of the undertones of racism in all sexism or racism? There's an undertone, and there's there's literally videos of like Mickey Mouse with a half chub in some of those 50s and 60s little soundless animated shorts that he put out.
Yeah, no.
There's so many little sexual undertones in that shit, man. I'm telling you. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, Disney. And I don't know if it was done on purpose. There's like a bunch of like YouTube channels and Instagram pages dedicated to trying to prove that this shit was intentional. That like Disney was doing this shit for real or on purpose. But I don't know.
I guess they're doing a 180 on the whole thing by trying to
man, yeah, they are. Too much of a bad thing is still a bad thing.
Yeah. But I did want to say, I want to thank everybody for commenting on our short videos. I really appreciate the engagement, and the whole Star Wars thing is really, there's all sorts of drama happening with it. And thank you for commenting, and we definitely want to. I want to say the where Charmine came out saying the quote of "I want to make men uncomfortable." I want to thank. I can't remember your comment, the name, but I think it was something Brian. But thanks for pointing out that it was something that she said back in her documentary. But she did come out saying it's 2024 and it's about time that women shape a galaxy far, far away.
She did. Yeah, she did actually say that. Yeah. And that was Sly Brian. Sly Brian on YouTube. Thanks, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did actually say that. And again, and it goes back to the original point that we were trying to make on the previous podcast is why? Why is that necessary for why do you have to change the entire scope or the entire landscape or something to make it yours? Like, I feel like having a director come in and give you their version or their outlook on this thing that already has so much source material, it's cool and it's important, and for people to be able to express themselves, and you are hiring this person to express themselves, but the key phrase there is the source material.
Right.
Like we need to keep that as original and keep that as pure as possible.
Yeah. And
I feel like, and even like large directors like the Zack Snyder that go in and put their own rendition on the DC stuff that has so much source material already. You can only I feel like you can only change it so much to where it becomes something totally different from what the people actually want to see. Yeah. And you're really messing with a huge fandom, man.
Dude.
Like Star Wars,
100%.
Which probably, debatable, but the largest fandom out there.
Kathleen Kennedy came out and said that the fandom is toxic and they want to change it so that toxic element of the fandom, like Star Wars deserves new fans. And the more I kind of read in or listen to these other podcasters that are really involved with the Star Wars universe, I'm just like, why do you attack them? Like, and it's not paying off for Disney. That's the thing. It's like, okay, if you develop controversy, okay, so people are going to get interested, but you're losing it. So I don't know. I don't know if that's what the strategy behind that is. I don't understand.
Yeah, and
if there is one.
I'm not I love Star Wars. I think you would probably describe me as like a hobbyist fan.
Yeah.
But I do hear on other podcasts that cover geek culture things how the Star Wars fandom is toxic in comparison to the other big ones, the Star Treks, the Marvels, the DCs. I don't know why that is. Maybe because it's been around for so much longer there, and it's had a cinematic presence for so long. Maybe the fandom feel like they have like some sort of ownership over it. Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I think you can only be so toxic when you dress up like like Princess Leia, or
Dude, that's like, I see those people dressing up as her at the Comic Cons and all that. I'm like, good for you.
Yeah. Maybe not so good for you if you're a dude and you weigh 475 pounds.
Definitely not.
I've seen that too.
Oh, man.
Listen, I love that you love it, but we don't love the outfit on you.
The only way I could figure out the Star Wars thing is like, so Wendy and I were competitive American rhythm dancers. So we got this choreography that was developed for us not by us, but developed for us. I mean, we created most of it, and then our main coach would come in and he would shape it. And so we created this storyline between our five competitive dances, and it had a point of view, and it was really important to us. And it really shaped our kind of how we view dancing as a whole. Our coach had moved to Florida. We weren't able to work with him anymore. We had another coach come in and said, you know what, all of that, let's just get rid of it all. Let's start all over again. And our placements and our markings went down the toilet. So I was like, okay, why did we mess with this successful piece of art that was our choreography to fit somebody else's vision?
Right.
It didn't match us.
Right.
So I was like, I don't know if that's a good comparison, but.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you go in and change something that is battle tested and proven,
right? And
then you go and I understand we live in a world where everyone wants to put their stamp on their thing. We get it, I get it, because as an artist and someone who has a passion about what they're doing, that's normal, that's natural to want to do that. But also you have to respect the fact that this is not original IP for you.
Right.
This is something that has so much legacy and so much source material and just so much. I mean, it's Star Wars, man.
Dude, I know.
There's certain things you just do not fuck with, and that is one of them. That's one of the things that you have to get it right.
Yeah.
And I feel when Favreau came in and Filoni came in, they got it right.
Yeah.
You know.
Agreed. Yeah.
I don't get it.
Do you think Kathleen Kennedy must have something on somebody? Like
she think that's what it is.
I don't know. Like there's even the casual fans, I think, and I was, I'm a fan. I don't know if the fandom, I would say I'm a hardcore Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars. Anytime it's on, I'll watch it. Mm-hmm. Do I follow it to the T and I'm like, oh, that wasn't right, or that particular thing on that land speeder's in the wrong spot, or I'm like, right. I'm not that crazy over it.
Yeah.
But she just, I don't think she's even a fan of Star Wars.
Yeah, and which is hard to have a director who's not a fan of the thing they're directing.
Exactly.
And I get it, because for a lot of these directors, like a lot of these projects don't have the type of source material that like a Marvel or Star Wars or a DC has. So you're going there from scratch and you're creating a script based on what your vision is. Mm-hmm. But with this stuff, the script is there for you. It's written for you. You just have to not fuck it up.
Yeah.
And some people, some of these directors, they're just trying so hard to make it their thing that they're forgetting that it was our thing first.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I mean, it's like if we go back to the streaming services we were talking about earlier about Disney Plus, like why did people sign up for Disney Plus? Probably to be able to be part of that Star Wars universe or any of the other like Marvel and all that. And if you're changing it, you're going to lose value in that streaming service. And
right.
So I don't.
And we're seeing that. We're seeing that across the board.
Yeah.
Between it. Amazon, Apple TV, Hulu, I mean, all those services have some sort of fictional comic booky type of content, right?
Yeah.
You got with Amazon, you got The Boys, and with Netflix, they're doing all of this, live action anime stuff. Like, I mean, there's only so much.
Yeah.
And people, while I'm one of those people that I love content. Keep it coming.
Yeah.
Keep it coming.
Yeah.
But people's bandwidth is only so large, mm-hmm. and there's only so much content that the majority, the hobbyist fan can take and going to go out of their way to watch. Like, we have people like you and me, like with the Marvel stuff, with me, Marvel and DC stuff, if it's out there, I'm watching it.
Yep.
In any way that they deliver it to us, we're gonna watch it. But the majority of the fandom isn't like that.
Yeah. They're
like, oh shit, that's Superman. That looks like Superman. I know who Superman is. Let me go and watch it. That's the hobbyist fan, and you gotta. It's just so much content out there. Man.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I wonder if the streaming services are going to max out their, like, because there seems like there's another streaming service coming out, and it's like, how do you can a streaming service survive on? It's like network TV or cable television. You have all these channels, all these stations that are bidding to be on your cable service. Can Peacock or can Amazon, seems like they're not doing that great. Apple TV, we were mentioning earlier, are they going to be able to survive staying in business? Because it's like, how do they make their money? And what do they fund? Like, I don't understand the business model as much, but.
Well, I feel like, is ad space. That's one of your major revenue streams, which you get on the Hulus and I think everyone shows ads with the exception of Apple and Netflix, right?
Apple shows and
Disney Plus.
Disney, yeah. I'm trying to, because we're watching Monarch right now on Amazon, and it's like all I see is an ad for a different show, but not a product or service.
Got you.
So I'm like wondering what is it like advertising? Like YouTube gets. If you're a YouTube premium member, then you get to skip the ads.
Right.
This episode is brought to you by.
Yeah. But no, all jokes aside though, YouTube, they're coming in hot because they're giving, you have all those things you can watch, all the content that you want to watch. You can watch content from other platforms, and you can watch live TV if you pay the premium price for it on YouTube. YouTube is coming for next right now. Yeah. They're going to be within the next, I call it, maybe 3 to 5 years, they're going to be Netflix's largest competitor.
Yeah. I signed up for YouTube Premium because of Cobra Kai. Like that was, and I still have the membership.
From what was that, 5 years ago?
Yeah,
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's weird in itself because when Cobra Kai was on YouTube, it got no viewership.
Yeah.
When it went to Netflix, a lot of people were like, holy shit, what is this? They had no idea that this was even a thing.
Yeah.
And it got to Netflix, and then viewership goes through the window. All of a sudden, they're adding new seasons onto it. And this is probably one of the most popular streaming shows out there right now.
Yeah.
I think it came a little bit too soon for YouTube.
Yeah.
And YouTube put out a little bit too early. Timing is everything. Because I remember seeing the trailers on YouTube for it. I was like, oh shit, that looks cool as shit.
Yeah.
Is Mr. Miyagi gonna be in it?
Yeah. Gotta bring him back.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think those are the ones that are gonna survive. The Netflix, YouTube, Amazon Prime, those are the big. I guess Hulu, because Hulu shows live TV, and so it gives you the option. You still watch games, you still watch the news. Amazon Prime, you get the NFL, so that's huge in itself. Live sports. Yeah. So
we still have cable, and when I was channel surfing, in the guide, or I pulled up the guide, and like there's a station. You're like it's like a football game, and I was like, oh, I'll just check out the football game. It was a link to my Prime app to go to the football game because Amazon Prime is now showing football. And I was like, wow. Like
now I can't, because I have Amazon Prime, so it allows me to, when the games come on, it shows them. I think it's this Thursday night. I think that's the deal that they have.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, y'all. I don't know if that's the gospel, but is there a way, if you don't have Prime but you want to watch a la carte games that you can? Because I know you, and again, quote me if I'm wrong, or don't quote me because I might be wrong about this, but I think if you have the NFL or don't have the NFL package but want to watch a game, like I want to see the Packers play, I can buy those games a la carte.
I think so.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that, which is a cool feature, because the NFL package is like $400 a year, or $400 a month.
Dude, I looked at my cable bill and I was like, man, we're paying a lot. And they're like, because I wanted to get HBO Max, so the app, so we have the HBO package, and then we have the Showtime package. I mean, we have all the paid movie channels,
right?
And all the other stations, I don't really care about. It's like, I mean, maybe I don't know. I watched the Nature Channel.
Yeah.
like History Channel. I like that.
You know what show I low-key love? It's not low-key, but because it's been on for years. My Lottery Dream Home.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Man, I love that show so much. And the host...
he's all tatted up, right?
Yeah, he's tatted up, dude. He's the best dressed dude I've ever seen in my life, man. What's his name? My Lottery Dream Home. I want to say, is it Aaron? David. His name is David.
Oh, yeah.
His name is David. Man, this dude, you can tell this dude just like loves his job.
Yes.
He just goes around, or at least he gives the illusion of loving his job. He just goes around dressed nice and just shows people houses that they could never afford in real life. But they won that jackpot.
Yeah. And it's funny, like that show, like some people win and they're very reserved, not reserved, but they still buy an affordable home.
Frugal with the money.
Frugal, yeah.
But, most of these people that win those jackpots, it's not a lot of money. They don't win like the $500 million thing. They'll win like $1 million or 1.2 million or even in six figures.
Yeah.
And, they still try to buy a modest home or try to buy a home in general. Like they might be people that never thought they can buy a home.
Yeah.
And so that's cool. But then some people are winning and they are buying like vacation homes.
Yeah.
It's like, I only want to spend $300,000, but it's on your second home, which is, it's whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's part of the fun in playing the lottery is the time between you buy the ticket and they call the numbers, fantasizing about what you would do if you were to win.
Yep. Do you play the lottery at all?
Which is the dumbest shit, but I play it when it gets big.
Yeah.
Which is like the worst time to play.
Yeah.
But then man, 500 million, man, what would I do at 500 million?
Yeah.
What's the first thing I would buy? And then, some people, everybody's different and it depends on what your value system is. But I always think about the toy because I already know that I'm going to invest in certain things. I'm going to, set the fam up for, success in the future. But there's no fun to think about that shit.
Yeah.
You want to think about what kind of car you're going to drive, or what kind of boat you're going to buy, or, home you're going to spend a ridiculous amount of money on. But
speaking of cars, I bought my Jeep. So I didn't get that.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah. I went with it.
You bought the lease out?
But while I was at the dealership, a dude walks in, and my salesman, Stanley, he's great at Hall Jeep. Greatest guy. Guy walks in, Stanley knows his clientele. He knows them by the first thing. He's like an old school guy, dressed up, he knows your name. He says, Taras, how you doing? Good to see you. Like, just great. Dude walks in, can't remember his name. And Stanley is like, "Are you here to look at that TRX?" And I immediately, I was like, "Is Antoine here?" I was like, "Who?"
It might be me.
Dude, they got a TRX on the lot, and I think the guy's got
a
Hall Jeep. So the guy that was there, I told Stanley, I was like, "Hey, by the way, me and a friend of mine, Antoine, we have a podcast, and we did an episode about the TRX. So if he buys it, can you let us know what his name is?" And we'll go and test drive it.
Shit, if he doesn't buy it, let us come and test drive it anyway.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I thought you'd be interested to hear that.
Man.
Katt Williams. There's all sorts of drama happening about that.
Katt is...
I watched the whole the Shay Shay show.
Oh, you watched it?
I watched the whole thing. And I watched a pathologist watched that video, and he did different reactions of if Katt was actually lying, and he's like, Steve Harvey's the guy that's not telling the truth.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Threw him under the bus. Like straight up just said, you can't, or was it, or was it not Steve Harvey? It was, Steve Harvey as well, because he did this whole apology thing on Family Feud for he's like, somebody who's innocent wouldn't take that much time to defend themselves.
Right.
But I think he said Cedric the Entertainer is the one that was like straight up just lying.
Yeah. He stole this man's material.
Yeah.
I mean, are there just certain like tells, like the face or certain little mannerisms that a person has that you can tell if they're lying, or the possibility is higher that they are lying?
Yeah. He said that Katt was probably the guy that was like doing all the body language stuff. It was like saying to Shannon Sharp, being like, okay, this is a safe place. Can I really share this stuff with you? And then like how he was like massaging his leg, because that's like looking for reassurance. I mean, just these, or when he was saying something, his hand was on his heart. It's whereas like Cedric the Entertainer didn't do any of that. It was just in defense mode.
Yeah, very deliberate. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So it was interesting,
man. But which is shitty in itself. To steal someone's material, and like we were kind of talking about off air. Comedians have been doing this shit forever, like stealing other comedians' material and taking somebody who's a little known comedian and taking their stuff. I mean, other comedians write for comedians, so it's not something that's taboo or, a rarity, but they caught Katt Williams at the wrong time, yo. Yeah. He had plenty of time that day because he was like, I'm getting all y'all ass, but
even called out Joe Rogan and his little crew.
Yeah.
Which
what did he say about Rogan?
He just said that Rogan has his group and he springboards them or allows them the platform. He's like, they ain't funny. They didn't prove themselves. They didn't do. So I think Katt is like somewhat jaded because he's like, I did all this on the road and I put the time in, and these younger guys like, not Brendan Shaw, but the not Martin Short. Kevin
Hart.
Kevin Hart is like had no, like he just came out of nowhere. He's like, so if you're not on the road and earning your cred, like how is it that somebody like Kevin Hart can just come up out of nowhere? And it was interesting. This other guy was saying, he's like, these days, because of social media, he's like, you could have somebody sponsor you. Like there could be somebody with money. He's like, hey, I think you're funny. I'm just going to give you this platform right from the start because I believe it's like investors. It's like you're investing in them. So
and you get a little bit of kickback off of that. You're part of you are the production company or something like that. Yeah, man. Yeah. Do you think that Katt coming out and doing and saying all this and calling people out, is it going to be beneficial to him in the long run, or do you think he's going to get further blackballed by the industry because of it? Because he talks about the gatekeepers and things like that.
The cabal.
Just because you said something, that doesn't mean those gatekeepers go away. Yeah. So do you think he's gonna kind of
I don't know
get destroyed in this whole thing?
I feel like he's gonna have his moment, and a year down the road he's probably gonna be gone.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but
he's getting his moment now. I want to see him do a stand-up special about this. Hopefully this generates a stand-up, because Prime Katt Williams, and I've said it on this podcast before, Prime Katt Williams is one of the funniest comedians ever. Yeah. He is hilarious, man. I'm talking about tears. Like, he's one of the few stand-ups that I've watched, and I was in tears laughing at this dude, man. So, I mean, I want to see, but we don't know if that's the Katt. That's the same guy right now. Is he still hungry? Yeah. Is all of this stuff, people say drugs have come into play. He's older. We've seen how age can change a comedian, and wealth and success can change a comedian. Yeah. So,
I mean, he could also be like the Dave Chappelle, where Dave Chappelle was on top of the world and then gone, and he's on top of the world again.
Yeah. Could be. Yeah. Dave just, he just marched to the beat of his own drum, and it ended up working out for him. So yeah, I hope it works out for Katt, man. And because you hate to see, especially if it is true, you hate to see the people that stole from him win at the end, right? Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. But going back to the Disney stuff, I binged Echo.
Oh,
I binged it. Okay. It was, I guess you would call it. It was a Marvel Spotlight. It was only 5 episodes, and it started off really strong. I'm gonna try to do this without spoilers. Okay. It started off very strong. The first 4 episodes, there's only 5. The first 4 episodes were really good. I was glued to the TV, especially the first episode. Okay. And you'll see, if you guys watch it, like, it's already leaked that Daredevil is in the series, right? Yep. Man, dude, I'm just gonna say the fight choreography in this show is great.
Because she's actually deaf, right? The actress?
No, she has a prosthetic.
Oh, prosthetic.
She has a prosthetic leg. Okay. But yeah. She is actually deaf.
She's the actual actress.
Yes. And she has the prosthesis and everything. So, man, and I don't know if that makes it cooler, some of the fight stuff that went on that she does have the prosthetic. But man, the combative choreographer, that team, dude, they put their foot in it, man.
So
they
wait
did
a second.
Great job.
So she really has a prosthetic leg.
Yes.
So she's deaf and
yes.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah. So it's a great show.
Is she? I'd be so curious because I've seen the previews and I'm so interested in watching it. But was there? I'm just so now curious about the actress, like her ability. Did she lose her leg from something, or was it natural?
I have no idea. I haven't done my deep dive into the actress yet. But she Native American heritage.
Yep.
And and they play on that a lot in the show, and they actually bring a lot of, like, I guess you would call it mysticism of that together, which. It kind of goes off the deep end a little bit. I'm just saying, you can call it. And by the end of the show, you're like, man, am I watching two different shows?
Wow.
Yes, but
so do you feel like it was a loss in writing, like almost a change in writers, or?
Man, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
Yeah,
I just think that. Disney or Marvel the MCU has a direction, and they're gonna bring that shit out no matter what.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, it'll be cool if, I'm not talking about this show in particular, but hey, it'd be cool if, at the end of this, this World War II movie, if a dragon just comes and flies on the screen. It's like that, dude. It's like, wouldn't it be cool? Wow. That could happen, right? How can we make that happen? Because that's is one of those things.
Yeah,
and, man, it's that show. I'll give it, out of 10, I give it a high 7.
Okay,
very high 7, almost an 8.
Still worth watching then.
Yeah, definitely worth watching. And it's only 5 episodes. You can watch that in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So.
Are they like 30-minute episodes or a full hour?
They're full hour, 49 minutes, whatever.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Allocate an hour.
We started watching Monarch, I was telling you earlier, and they're a big Kurt Russell fan, and seeing him act with his son was super cool. But the story is interesting because it's like they're trying to pull in almost too much. It's a good show, but they're trying to pull in too much. It almost feels like Stranger Things meets time traveling, journey to the center of the earth kind of weird thing, but it all works.
Yeah.
So
it was the premise. Is it all those all the monsters?
Yeah.
Or do they kind of get loose? Is it like what is the premise of the show?
So it feels like they're trying to explain where Godzilla actually comes from.
Okay.
And in doing that, I don't know if it's going to be a spoiler, but it's called Monarch Monsters something or other. But so that other monsters are going to be showing up, and where they're coming from is interesting, and how they kind of open up that whole idea. And it's almost like borrowing from Loki, where you're going into another universe in the upside down of the Stranger Things. So it's...
You lost me already. You did. That was a terrible fucking... There's no way I wanted to watch it. Now I have zero desire to watch it. I'm joking.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
No, but the show is getting great reviews, and it is on the list. Of things to watch. And you said it's on Apple TV or Amazon?
Apple TV.
It's on Apple TV. All right, so
yeah,
I have to steal some Apple TV shit.
I think I bought something where I get 3 months free. But after watching Ted Lasso, we're like, oh, Ted Lasso is really good, and so we saw Monarch, and there's other couple of things going back to the streaming service thing. I'm like, there's only a couple shows that I watch on each of those streaming services, and I'm like,
yeah, right.
Even if it's like how many thousands of people watch those shows, is it enough memberships to survive a streaming service? I just don't know.
Yeah, I don't see how it can. It's gonna be like the fast food wars. Remember back in the early 2000s, like the fast food war. What would be the fast food restaurant that survived if if they just went head to head. And I think it ended up being Taco Bell. Taco Bell would be the one that would survive. But now it's probably Chick-fil-A. Even though that shit is like $10,000 for a sandwich. But
man, everything is so much more.
But yeah, those I mean, it's inevitable. There's probably be some acquisitions here and there, and Paramount will probably come and scoop these up, or Sony will probably scoop some of these up. It's in its infancy. Yeah. So because there are so many, and at some point you're gonna have a few of these just super streaming services, because it doesn't change the one fact that cable is going to become obsolete. Yeah, that's still going to happen. Yeah, or cable TV. It's just how that happens. The landscape is constantly changing. So.
It's got to be a generational thing. Like cable TV, I think people were doing research. Like probably my parents' age and younger, but not quite our age, are still to their cable. They don't like my dad. Like visiting Rochester, my dad's like, "Oh, I like Netflix," but it's not like he's seeking out other streaming services. Yeah, but he's still onto he's now using just the regular antenna. So.
It's changed. People don't like change, man. Yeah. And even as I get older, I've become, I'm still pretty tech savvy, nowhere near as tech savvy as you, but even I find comfort in knowing, okay, this is on Paramount. Yeah. This is on Netflix. I'm going to stick with Netflix until I finish this show. So I can get how, as you get older, that whole, just navigating that whole thing is just so daunting. It's like, God, here's another streaming service I got to try to watch something. And then it turns, like you said earlier, you have one or two shows on each service, and at some point you're just gonna be like, nah, I just won't watch that show. Yeah, so
yeah. But it also could be like people sign up for these services and like they just forget that they have them, and they're still paying the premium and the monthly premium. It's like that's a business model in itself.
Yeah, I mean, me and Jamie got 2 Netflix accounts. We just now got rid of one of our Netflix accounts. Oh, really? Yeah, because she had it and then I had it. We got together, and then I still can view it on my phone and other TVs in the house, and it's only $14-15 a month. So you get the bill and you don't even pay attention to it, and is. Finally, after being together for as long as we have, she's like, "Why you still got Netflix?" I was like, "I don't know why I still have Netflix," because all she has is fucking rom-coms, and because the algorithm picks up what you're watching. Yeah. And I go on her Netflix, and it's like holiday love affair. Love during Christmas. This is love at Christmas time. It's all like this same stuff,
all the Hallmark shows.
Yes, all the Hallmark-esque shows is in her algorithm. She loves that shit, man. She'll watch it over and over and over again. Wow. So, but you gotta love my little creature habit. So
Wendy, anytime we're channel surfing, she comes across Sex and the City. She just watches it. She loves that show. It doesn't matter how many times it's on, and like it's probably one of the only reasons we might still have cable. Yeah, because she's like,
and dude, that show, I'm telling you, the 4 most ratchet bitches you could ever think of. That's that show, dude. Dude, I don't understand. I guess it was like the fantasy, right? Like if you were a single woman, where would you want to live? Yeah. What would you want to wear? What would you want to be doing? And those girls are doing all of those things. Yeah. So I can see how for, a young lady that would be a cool show. But from a dude standpoint, you're like, man, all these middle-aged women just hoeing around and wearing shoes that you couldn't buy. Like you can't buy those. No. These are Prada this.
Jimmy Choos.
Jimmy Choos are like $10,000 for a pair. Like you can't buy that shit. Yeah. But again, the fantasy. I guess we're not flying around like Superman either. So. We can't do that shit.
I was walking at the Bellagio, walking to the ballroom from my hotel room. Off to my right was all these shoes. I'm like, there's a store now, the Sarah Jessica Parker store. She just sells shoes. She has her own shoe line now.
Wait. From Sex and the City.
From Sex and the City.
Sarah Jessica Parker has her own store.
And is it just
is it just a catch-all for all types of brands, or is it like
that's
her shoe?
I think it's her shoes.
Okay, what?
Yeah.
Who else does that? Somebody else has their own shoe. Is it
Kanye?
No, well, but like high heel women's shoes.
Oh,
Jessica Simpson.
Jessica Simpson. But Jessica Simpsons are like cheap.
Are they?
Yeah, they're just. I mean, not cheap, but they're.
Man, he said the C word.
They're affordable. They're affordable.
So if you want to buy the Sarah Jessica Parker shit, but you're on the Jessica Simpson budget, you go to Amazon and get her shit. Man, but she's smart in herself, man. You heard the story about her, how she kind of dumbed down her intelligence to get more popular on TV.
Sarah Jessica Parker?
No, Jessica Simpson.
Oh, Jessica Simpson.
Yeah, she actually, remember she had the show with Nick Lachey.
Dude, we loved
Newlyweds.
We loved that show.
Yeah, so she would actually like dumb down her intelligence because it got better ratings. Yeah. But that chick is super smart, man. I mean, obviously you have, and I know you have advisors and people helping you along with this stuff, but you also got to have a vision too.
Yeah.
And yeah, evidently she's way more intelligent than people give her credit for, or that the masses give her credit for, because that's all we saw. You know? But man, she's evidently pretty intelligent.
She's got to be, like, even at a younger age. Wasn't she coming out at the same time as Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera?
Yeah,
those the three of them, right?
Yeah, it was around the same time. Mandy Moore. It was like kind of like Britney and Christina, and then it was like everyone else.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. And it wouldn't have been Britney and Christina. It would have just been Britney if Christina didn't have such a strong voice. I mean, there was nobody fucking with Christina Aguilera from like just a vocal standpoint.
Yeah.
Maybe Pink.
Yeah.
Maybe Pink. But in that whole like pop diva, young tweener type of category, there was nobody fucking with Britney and Christina.
No.
Yeah. And then, you had Mandy Moore, who, dropped a hit here and there. And then Jessica Simpson, who dropped a hit here and there. But Monopoly was Christina and Britney. Sure.
Yeah. She's Disney.
But Mandy Moore was Disney too, wasn't she?
Oh, was she? I don't know.
I think she was on Disney Plus too, or from the Disney, that whole, Mickey Mouse Club type thing.
Yeah, I thought Christina Aguilera and I'm not even gonna say it. I thought Jessica Simpson was as well, but or was it? I don't remember.
I don't know where she came from.
I don't know.
But that's, I mean, and they're 40s now.
Yeah.
Mid 40s. So, they've been around for a minute. And same thing with like the Olsen twins. I mean, how long have their asses been popular? Since they were 3, not babies.
Yeah.
Full House, they were babies.
So crazy. And their sister, that was God, in the Marvel movies. Jeez. She had their own show on Disney. Come on, folks.
Did she have her own Scarlet Witch?
Scarlet Witch with
Ashley Olsen.
Ashley Olsen. Yeah. She was
Mary Kate and Ashley. Those are the twins. But what's the younger sister's name?
Oh man, I gotta look it up.
Yeah, we do. We are the worst with names. We forget our own names sometimes.
I got to start preparing for these. But we were like off the cuff conversation. I can't remember. Oh man. Anyway.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch.
That's what we're gonna know you by. Or I'll say the actor that played. Oh my God, there it is again. I'm gonna edit this part.
What did she play?
Oh no, it was in Batman. We played when he sprays people. Oh God, he wore the freaking burlap sack over his head.
Oh, the Scarecrow.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, I don't know the character's name, but I was talking to somebody. I'm like, yeah, Scarecrow, and they're like, who? And I'm like, the guy that plays Scarecrow. And they're like, he has a name. I'm like, yeah, but I know him as Scarecrow, so he's going to be Scarecrow.
Yeah, he's Scarecrow.
But so going back to Star Wars, the actress that plays Rey, I guess, and rumor has it that she's all upset because her career got ruined for playing Rey, because now she's typecast as like, that's all she's going to be now, is known for like Mark Hamill. All he's known for is Luke Skywalker, and now Daisy Ridley is only going to be known as Rey.
Really?
I'm wondering if that's like part of like why Charmine and Kathleen Kennedy got together with Daisy Ridley to try to, and why Daisy's so behind getting this whole new Rey movie in this series, or getting this whole movie franchise going based around her, because that's all she is. So,
yeah, I think you gotta kind of be Elizabeth Olsen just so if you're not yelling at your radio or computer right now. But when you get a part like that, when this is you're gonna get typecast, right?
Yeah.
It's expected, you're in a huge franchise. It's just like RDJ. Now, there can never be another Iron Man.
Yeah.
And a lot of the movies that he's done since then, I feel, and this is just me, I feel like they haven't been as successful because people only see him as that now. They only see him as Iron Man, right? And it's like any movie you see him in, even though he does a great job, like Oppenheimer. Mm-hmm. Oppenheimer did great, but you still, hey, that's Iron Man. That's still, and he did like the Doolittle stuff.
Yeah.
And those movies just died, because, just me, I think that's part of the reason. But if you go into one of these franchises, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Like, are you like, hey, this is going to take 5-10 years of my life.
Yep.
This is going to be the person I'm known to be for the next 5 to 10 years.
Yep.
But, you're in a large movie franchise. You're getting a bag. Like, does it balance out for you? Or I guess it depends on what type of actor you are.
Yeah.
Right?
To me, I like Daisy Ridley. Like, I feel like she could do more. So I don't see, like, Mark Hamill wasn't the greatest actor. So it's like,
yeah,
you're Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, he was Luke Skywalker.
But, or Harrison Ford, like his first big break was Han Solo, but he's not Han Solo and everything. He's Indiana Jones. But he's still like,
he's still kind of,
that character.
Yeah. Right. Isn't he kind of that character in everything? One of those two characters in everything that he's in,
like Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool and everything.
Oh, little known fact. Did you know that before Hayden Christensen got the part as Anakin, Paul Walker was the front runner for that?
Really? I did not know that.
He was the front runner for that. And they said he came down to the chemistry between him and Natalie Portman. And the chemistry wasn't as good between those two as it was between her and Hayden. So
interesting.
Hayden got the part.
Yeah. Man, seeing Hayden come back in Ahsoka, I didn't like Hayden until, I shouldn't say I didn't like him. He just wasn't the best casting either. But when I saw him pop up in Ahsoka, I was like, wow, really? No, there he is.
I love that dude from Jump Street.
Really?
When that cat, I'm not gonna say from Jump Street, but when he just slaughters Dooku at the beginning of was it Return of the Sith? Revenge of the Sith,
yeah.
I was like, oh shit, like that's my new cat right there. Like, cause you knew what was coming, and just to see him kind of fight off some of those like evil tendencies, but because inevitably that's gonna go down and he's gonna succumb to that. But to see kind of the dynamic of him getting to there, and him and Padme, how their relationship like really disintegrated over a matter of like 2 hours in the movie, that was awesome. And he was like, don't underestimate my power. Like, I'm going to jump over you. In his head, he was like, this is what's going to happen.
But I have the high ground.
Don't do it, Anakin. But in his head, he was probably like, this is what's going to happen, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump over you, do 2 front tucks, cut you in the back while I'm doing that, and then saber your head off when I land.
Yeah. That's
in his head.
Yeah.
That's what was going to happen. Yeah. But we saw what really happened.
Yeah, it didn't work out that way.
And then, I hate you. And he's dude, that's gold.
So
that's gold.
I will say this. I liked him, but I guess the chemistry between him and Natalie Portman, not believable, in my opinion. No, I didn't. But Natalie Portman, I don't think she's a probably easy actress to connect with, because even with Thor, like, why was she in Thor? Like, that was her and oh my God, there it is again. The actor plays Thor.
Chris Hemsworth.
Thank you. I don't think they had the best chemistry.
No,
I don't think so.
I don't know. I think, well, with the Star Wars thing, I think, and again, this is just me, I think so many people were associating Anakin, like little kid Anakin, and now all of a sudden you guys are banging out. Like, that was kind of weird for some people, but it's the movies. And I mean, in the Thor thing, that was just a bad movie. That was just Love and Thunder was just not the best that Marvel has put out, and it is. But the female Thor, I thought she looked great. She looked fantastic. She was yoked in that thing, and and there is comic book precedence for a female Thor, so I let it ride.
I'd be curious to know what Natalie Portman thinks of her role in The Professional. Did you ever see that movie?
I don't think
The Professional was about an assassin with a French actor. It is a great movie.
Let's call her and ask her. Hey,
be like, hey Natalie. Hey Siri, can you call Natalie for me? She was like a kid in that movie, and I'd highly recommend everybody just watch it. And I'd be curious, if you watch it, in the comments, let me know what you think of Natalie Portman role, because I think it's one of her most brilliant acting roles, and she was a child in it.
Really?
Oh, she's great.
Okay, The Professional.
The Professional.
Is that the one with Sylvester Stallone?
No.
Okay.
No, that was wasn't that that was called something else.
Well, he's like a
Commando or whatever.
No, he was like a bomb. He was like a explosives expert. And that's how he would like off all these people. He would just go and make a bomb out of a Q-tip and a side of mayonnaise and shit.
Jean Reno was the assassin in it. So it's Natalie Portman and who are the other actors in it? Jean Reno, Natalie Portman. Oh, Gary Oldman was amazing in it too.
Okay.
Dude, it's a good movie. Came out in '94. I saw it in the theater. It was great.
Okay.
See it.
I'm not old enough to go to movies at 94. I'm sorry.
Were you bored? It was a rated R movie, so you were still 5 years old.
Yeah, I was. How old was I in 94? What, 15, 14, 15? Yeah, man.
I was slightly older.
Oh, man. Anything to add before we get out of here? Leave these fine people alone?
No, just want to thank everybody once again for tuning into the Alpha Geek Podcast. Thank you for all the comments again. And if you feel like you want to keep adding onto those comments, please do so. We do look at all of them.
We do.
Also, I was thinking of setting up a Twitter account for our Alpha Geek.
Oh, man, you really, or X. It's X.
X, yeah.
Not Twitter. Man, you really want us to catch some heat.
Yeah.
And I feel like you talk about fucking toxic fandom. As soon as you get on Twitter, that shit goes south real fast.
We should do an episode on some stuff I've seen on Twitter. I'm just like, holy cow. I cannot believe the things you can see on that.
Yeah, Twitter.
I don't think it's, we're very busy. And we both obviously have our own businesses, and we're trying to do this podcast. And so Twitter's another job.
It is, dude. It is, man. But
anything you want to close out with?
No, just thanks for subscribing. Tell your friends. Let us play in the background. We'll keep you entertained. Try our best to keep you entertained. You can find Alpha Geek Podcast on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at Antoine the Juggernaut, and at TikTok, Juggernaut of Fitness.
And then once again, you're interested in learning how to dance, check out the Arthur Murray Dance Studios, wherever you may be. If you're interested in learning any partner dancing, from ballroom, Latin, Arthur Murray's is a worldwide franchise. But if you are in the Hampton Roads area, check us out right on the Boulevard, Virginia Beach Boulevard, located at 3707 Virginia Beach Boulevard.
Cool. We catch y'all later, y'all. Peace.